Good afternoon,
Howdy,
folks.
people. How you
How we
doing?
doing? Happy Tuesday,
Welcome if you're new. Gene, welcome.
everybody.
Mark, hopefully you're
Mark,
watching still if you
everybody.
haven't gotten tired of us already.
Sorry, Audrey,
No,
everybody.
I would understand it.
Roberto.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Did we get anybody else new? I don't know. I know we have the Upper East Side. We have Sorry, right? Did you say Sorry?
Sorry.
I'm
Yes,
sorry. I'm sorry.
And
Well, okay. Let's get to
everybody,
what.
thank you very much.
Let's get to what we were talking about.
Good to see you.
I might be able to. I'll try it maybe on this show if we come up with something that we actually need to watch. But I might have a way to show you something now. Actually, besides our ugly faces. What do you want to start off talking about?
Well, I just want to say we talked about last week when Joe Biden fell at the
Oh yeah,
the naval service
Yeah.
there, the Air Force service.
Air Force, right?
On his way home, he banged his head on a helicopter, getting out.
Now this
The man's
is,
a danger.
but it's not even that. He's been getting in and out of this
I feel
helicopter
sorry for the man.
for almost 3 years. 3 years he's been getting in and out of his helicopter, and he still hits his head. This is something not right. When I found, I got it. Okay,
I just can't help it.
as long as you bring that up, okay. I wasn't gonna say. Listen, first off, I don't mean to laugh at the man. I really don't.
No. It's
Believe
very
me, I
sad.
feel very bad. In my opinion, honestly, it really is elder abuse,
Elder abuse.
and I think
Definitely.
that somebody should actually
Step in and
you know,
say something.
have a talk with his wife maybe or something about this because what's going on there is just insane.
Put it this way.
No one wants to be first lady that bad that you're willing to put another human being through that type of torture. Okay, what were you
Listen,
saying?
no, just say he falls one more time. It might not be so pretty this time.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, we're just one hit break away from Kamala Harris being the president.
You
know?
Oh, I was just about to say that because
you
you know
really?
why?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
No,
didn't
no,
think-
not like that. Not the way I was going to say he could break a hip or something. I was gonna say,
Absolutely.
but the way you put it the best way, because that's true. Kamala Harris is
Yeah.
and
One
okay.
hit break.
But here's the thing that bothers me.
I just shut off the TV so you wouldn't have all of that flickering.
You're 80 years old, correct? Anybody who's 80, you fall. Do you go get a doctor's checkup? Yes,
Is he
you
80
do.
or 82?
He's 80 or 80. Either way,
I thought he was 82.
they didn't check him.
Yeah.
He didn't get a checkup.
He got
If you
checked.
fall-
Well, no, Kerry, I got to be honest with you here.
You think you got checked?
He got checked.
He had to get checked,
They
right?
checked him immediately. They're
He
just
had
not
to.
going to tell you that because then,
Okay.
see, if they tell you that they checked him, the next thing you're going to say is,
'Cause
we
you
want to
have-
hear from the doctor.
Right.
And they can't let the doctor talk to us because the
Okay.
doctor's going to turn around and say, he fell from onset dementia, okay, and an equilibrium
You're
issue.
right. He's one step away. We're one step. He's one hip break away from
Yeah,
Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Harris,
You know,
yeah.
it's very sad because he could really get hurt from this.
Yeah, and he will. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't see him living out his presidency if he does.
Falls one more
I'm talking
time.
about this term. I'm not even talking about if he won the next term. I don't think he's going to make it out of this term. The presidency, if you look at, you had a guy walk in there in his 40s, which was Obama, and when he walked out of there, which was 8 years, don't get me wrong, but in 8 years, you don't change as much as he changed. The presidency draws a lot more energy out of your body.
Obama got older.
Oh,
Look at-
absolutely. He went
Yeah.
white haired. And it's not just him. You look at any president, and the only one I would say that didn't come out looking bad was Trump. Trump looks exactly the same.
Still looks the
as him
same.
because he had the right temperament for it. Stress was something that he ran on. That's what he lived for.
Yeah.
And when you live for that sort of thing, all he did was eat it up. Where in Joe's case, in Carter's case, in Obama's case,
When you're wimps like they are, you're going to be stressed.
you're constantly stressed, and that's what does all of that crap to your body. I'm sorry, excuse me. The air is real bad in
No,
Manhattan
I just
today.
wanted to bring it up because I feel bad for the man, and the man should be checked every time something happens.
Absolutely.
Really, the man should not be allowed out there.
He really should be given. Trump took that test where it tells you what shape your mind is in,
Oh, yes.
and
Right.
he really should.
Physical shape of
Right.
your mind and body.
Right, he really should be given that test because, this is a man who's in charge. Listen.
Well, experts say he's got dementia.
Well, in reality, he literally could blow up the world. I mean, and there's not anyone really on the face of the earth that could do that. This is one person we're talking about that can blow up the entire world.
We're not realizing.
And I mean, the fact of the matter is, I don't know that I would let him use the blender in my kitchen. I mean, for fear that he might put his hand in it or something.
Yeah.
So,
Put the
I-
microwave on. Put his hand in there. Put aluminum foil in a microwave.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing.
We
Not
feel
thinking.
bad. We're not ragging on it. It's a shame.
We try to use humor in a way, but it's not really an insult factor. It's just the idea. It's not even him. It's the people around him that aren't treating him correctly and getting him the help he should get. Right now, he should be being treated for dementia to slow down its onset. Okay, instead of doing that, what they're doing is they're overtaxing him, and overtaxing by, I mean, in reality, he's not doing a goddamn thing. He only works from 12 to 4 p.m. if he works that much. I've seen him call a lid at 8 a.m. in the morning. So, like, they're overtaxing him, but they're overtaxing him because he's not in a normal state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if he was your grandfather, you know what his doctor would be doing? His doctor would be giving him Prevagen or something to get the mind
Get the mind
to
working
maintain
again.
itself.
Right.
And
I
and
can't
then,
talk, can't
right,
walk.
and by not admitting that you have it, you're not getting the help for it.
Right. And look, after he fell, everything, he comes back home, he bangs his head, he gets off the thing and he's jumping up and down, he goes, I'm okay. No, you're not okay.
No,
You're not okay.
and
When you fell over your feet, you're not okay.
right, and you're not being treated like a human being. You're actually being treated a little more like an animal, because they know this is wrong with you and they're not taking care of it.
No.
And it's just,
No.
to me, it's a very low thing.
An elder abuse.
Yeah.
And his wife should be ashamed of something they're not.
I can't, like, at this point, the last thing I do want to say is, I don't know if you guys watched it, but honestly, watch it. It's amazing because everybody there is supposed to be supportive of him.
Oh.
And right before he falls,
They all smile.
No, right before they falls, he finishes the speech and they're like, yay, yeah, okay, yeah, that was a nice speech. He falls and they you would have thought that, like, that the final touchdown in the Super Bowl at a tied game was just cast. It's like, yeah!
And some
It was
people
crazy.
laugh and smile.
Yeah.
They couldn't help
If you watch the Marine, the
Air Force guy.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of it.
Oh, the Asian guy. The
Yeah.
guy.
If you watch, any of them. I mean, first the African American woman, she looks like she's gonna help him.
And that guy,
She turns and walks away. The other African American gentleman in the front row, he's got like he's got a smile that's so
he's like this.
Yeah, and
he can't help it.
Listen, his approval rating is like in the 30s, if that.
20s now.
So, and I'm not even sure it's that high. It might be less than that, and they're just padding it.
Right, might be in the 20s.
Okay, listen, I'm kind of done with Biden. You if there's anything else you?
No, that's it. I just wanted to say, bang his head again. Hopefully, he won't fall again.
Okay, listen. You know what I'd like to talk about is there's a whistleblower who's
Yes.
saying that the United States has a UFO retrieval program, which is basically Men in Black, and they do have it, and they've had it forever. I mean, that's the truth.
And we really should believe this man because he works there and he's seen it.
This guy is like non-reproachable. You can't. There's nothing about him that would indicate false information of any type. He's an Air Force guy. He was in the Pentagon.
Medals.
I can't remember what the word is, but it's like a geospatial something or
You
other.
have to be really, really smart to get in where he is.
There's no way that this guy is like, you're not talking about some lunatic
Nope.
who's, sitting out in the middle of a lake and,
Yeah, just looking at sky.
Yeah,
No,
this guy really knows what he's talking
no,
about.
he knows.
He's flown, he's seen them.
right.
Yeah, exactly. And he says that we actually have this alien creations, right? Creations.
Creations.
Like, UFOs and that sort of thing from different species. In other words, not just one type. So we have a bunch of different types of alien spacecraft, basically, as well as species. You're absolutely correct. But I was going on a different route right now. So the species, we'll start there and then we'll go to the other side.
That's wild, man.
So the different species, I kind of get them, not showing us and stuff like that, because it could be off-putting. I when I was younger, it's funny. I had a theory, and it was a stupid theory, okay, and I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
But I really believed at one point in time, you couldn't turn on TV where there wasn't some sort of alien show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
Alf. It was like
Alf.
V. It was like I can't even. There was just like a ton of these shows on, and it was like X-Files. It was
X-Files.
I'm trying to think of some of
about
the
to
others.
say,
And I'm going back 30 years, so and again, as I told you, I don't prepare for this, so this is just kind of off the top of my head. And I thought basically, honestly, what lost that's a pretty good one. And I thought that maybe the government was trying to kind of assimilate us on a mental level to the idea of space coming to us. Let's put it that way. And since then, I've seen alien autopsy and stuff like that. And actually, believe it or not, some people that are very high up in terms of science say that that's absolutely true.
True. Yes.
I can't tell you it is or it isn't.
Nah, we're just going with what they say.
I know it's a huge, elaborate hoax if it is. I mean, and I'm not saying it
But
isn't.
not even that. If you watch some things like you said, they show some videos of objects in the sky that they're taking, that our military is taking.
If you get a chance, this over Israel, is it Israel?
Yes.
No. First one is Kremlin. Israel. Let's do the Israel one because that's pretty interesting.
That one went.
Okay, so if you get a chance, look up UFO over Israel. I could show it to you actually. I should do it because I've never tried this before and I'd like to see if it works. But I don't know what the copyright issues are with YouTube, so I'm gonna wait until I can find out.
Just look it up, UFOs.
Yeah, UFOs is Jerusalem. You're absolutely right. Good one. I forgot. I'm saying Israel, and what it is there's like this ball of light and it hovers above. I forget what the name of the place is.
Oh, it's like
the holiest site
in
Jerusalem.
Right.
Yeah, it's where Muhammad supposedly flew off on a winged horse, and the Jews are supposed to be allowed into Israel through. Again, I'm not at the office, so I can't tell you that for certain. But it's something like that.
Well, it's a religious place. It's where they pray and everything.
Yeah.
This thing came down.
It's like a glowing ball that's about, I'd say, maybe 30 miles above it, give or take, maybe 20 or 30 miles above it. And it just sits there for a minute. It slowly drops. Much like the Times Square apple, like during New Year's.
Oh, I was just going to say the ball that
drops.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And it just slowly dropped, and it stops.
It sat there.
It stops about maybe a half a mile or a mile above this, whatever this
temple.
Israel is, right? Whatever this temple is. And then it shoots up at like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 miles an hour.
You don't even see it. 2 seconds.
It literally looks like, if you've ever seen like a fireball shot out of a gun, that's exactly what it looks like. Exactly right on the nose, what it looks like. And there's no propulsion. That's the other thing I should say. In other words, like, if you know what a contrail is like when you see the jet, you see that little propulsion trail that follows.
Okay.
There's none of that. Okay. There's no dispersion of any sort of gas that you can see.
Like you don't see a flame coming out.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
This just went.
It's like someone took a slingshot and just shot it.
You have to see for yourself.
Yeah.
You do.
And now here's the coolest part: is it's not just one person. They have like literally 10 or 12 people who have taken it from different angles of the city. Right. So, to hoax something like that would be almost insane.
Yeah. How about the one that's over Kremlin?
Yeah, that's the pyramid one, right?
Pyramid.
This is a pyramid that they say is 2 miles long.
Yeah,
so in other words,
2 or 3 miles long, right?
So in other words, 2 miles in each of those directions, 2 miles in that direction, 2 miles that direction, this direction, this direction, all the way around. So you're talking
20 blocks long.
Yeah, so you're talking about 20 in one direction, 20 in another, 20 in another, and 20 in another. You're talking about 80 blocks total taken up. And that's not including the blocks in the middle.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm not a mathematician.
But you got to see this, though. And literally, you can see this.
And now here's the funny part: is they have it during the daytime.
Yeah.
It's not just at night. They have it at night, and you can see the thing kind of just like twisting and turning.
Right, maneuvers.
And then during the daytime, they have it. And it's the same exact thing.
And you can see it very clearly.
Just sitting there.
It rotates.
And there's no reason for it to be held up. Now, here's the kicker. They have it in 2 or 3 other areas, or maybe even more than that. I'm just saying 2 that I know. They have it over the Pentagon. They have it over the Kremlin. They have it over and military bases.
Military bases.
So, something about it is kind of strange, and it's very, very militaristic. So
but they're out there.
Yeah.
And we got to believe it.
So, anyway.
As a matter of fact, real quick, President Trump spoke about that a while back.
He created the Space Force, exactly.
And nobody believed him.
Yeah.
They all thought he was a fucking lunatic.
They made fun of him.
They made fun of him and everything. But look, you got people out there taking videos. You got this expert right here, this gentleman. I mean, but, everybody said.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you guys, some of you, I have to assume at least some of the people watching aren't big Trump fans. And I get that, you know what I mean?
You don't have to be.
I really don't get it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I get it. But I respect it. Okay, so
we respect it.
I'm going to say this to you, honestly. If you look at everything, and I really, really recommend you go and just research it.
Go back 5 years later, right?
I'm not gonna give you, like any sort of guff about anything. But if you go and research everything that this man has said, go back 2 years to something he said,
things happen,
and you'll see it happen today.
Mm-hmm.
The man is ahead of his time, and that's what makes him so successful.
Everything he said has happened so far.
Yeah, Joe Biden just actually literally maybe 9 months ago was making fun of Space Force. I think he put like either Buttigieg or Harrison in as like the leader of it or something like that, and they were talking about dismantling it. I mean, it's absurd. That's the new frontier. There's no way you can't
Right.
you can't
dismantle.
delve right. You can dismantle it. You got to delve further into it. Okay, but here's the deal now. Now here's where I want to make an argument that we actually do have these things, because if you stop and think about it, so go back 2,000 years. Okay, go back to
Right.
1823 or whatever you want to, whatever. Just go back. I don't care where you go. Go back. Anyway, and you look at first. So okay, first thing. Let's go from the point where we developed the light bulb. Okay, so we develop a light bulb. All of a sudden, like how many decades later before we invented the radio? How many decades later before we invented television? Right, exactly. Now you
Now look what we got.
Go to the 80s or whatever. I'm not an Apple guy, so I can't say exactly, but it was 80s or 90s.
Right, 80s, you're right.
That Apple came out with the iPad, okay? And you look at from that time till now, or even go back to when the first computer was invented. Just go, not invented, but when it became popular, like
Walkman's, beepers.
Right, Walkman. And then look at how technology was slow, and then all of a sudden it jumped from an Apple iPad to AI, right? To AI. Exactly. I mean, think about how short of a period of time. We went literally 300 years in 30 years. And we went 300 years into the future in 30 years.
Right. It's pretty scary too sometimes.
And you listen. You could say, "Oh, well, we're inventive people," and you could take that conceited view of it.
Nah.
But the truth of the matter is, if you believe that one day there was a child born who had all of these answers and could fix everything, it just doesn't. It doesn't compute. It just doesn't make sense. What happened was
technology.
Right. What happened was we found these alien technologies and we reverse engineered them. And what you have to remember about these technologies that we're talking about is we didn't even have to get their best stuff, because whatever we got from them was new to us and was going to take us into a new direction. Right. So if we got the equivalent of their Walkman, of their version of a Walkman, which might be what we're looking at today with MP3s, okay? I can't tell you that.
I was just going to say, those MP3s.
Yeah, it might be what we're looking at today with, with audio files and,
I mean, look, we went from CDs too now. Now you can play on your phone.
Well, look.
Now you can do everything for your phone.
You're saying that, but take a look at computers. I mean, you used to have a mainframe that took up the whole floor of a 100 by 100 room, okay? And even that wasn't enough to put all the information. Today, it's on the head of a pen.
Yep.
I mean, the head of a pen.
Yep.
I think about how much technology had to be put into doing something like that. And, I get that they're smart people, but not in this amount of time.
Only get smart.
Yeah, get smart. 99. Anyway, but
love his gadgets.
His shoe phone was the best.
Oh, man.
But what I'm saying is, we had
technology from somewhere.
We had to have help. That's what I was going to say. Exactly. That was my exact words.
Right.
So to think
it makes sense. My brother here makes sense.
And if you look, if you take a look out, just look at the sky. There's no way you can believe that we're the only ones who are graced with life. It doesn't make sense. And the other thing is the argument of where did we start? How did we start? You could say, like Big Bang Theory has been thrown out the door, so that doesn't work. Could you say that we came from alien? Absolutely. We could have been a little single cell that was floating through the solar system and just happened to crash into Earth and land in a lake. Right. And it just kind of like brought us into the fish. And that brought us amphibian. Amphibian brought us to land. Land brought us this. And it just worked that way. And we started off as this single cell who was able to, what's it called when they split? Not mitochondria. Maybe it is mitochondria. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I'm an idiot.
I'm a moron.
I forget what it's called. I'm going to say mitochondria, but I could be entirely off.
We were in high school for 7 years.
I'm talking about where cell splits into other cells. Right. I know it. It's in my head and I can't pull it out.
But think about it.
But be glad I don't pull it out because that would be obscene. Anyway, okay, so he whipped it out. Pardon me while I whip this out. Blazing Saddles. Cleavon Little. Great movie if you've never seen it. Blazing Saddles. Fantastic movie. Today, I mean, just try to get one that's not censored, okay? Because today a lot of it is
Oh, it's censored.
a lot of it is
So
silence.
you have to watch it straight through.
Yeah.
No help.
The N word is in it, and it's actually in a very cute way, you know.
You have to really think about these UFOs out there, and believe this gentleman that's out there now talking about it. And of course, the White House is denying it.
Yep.
And you really can't deny it.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's just not possible with everything that we have, and if you look around, it just makes so much sense that we cheated and we reverse engineered instead of we actually invented them. Anyway, okay, so we'll give up on that for a little while.
Wow.
Is there another subject you can think of?
There's a couple, man.
Oh, okay, let's talk about the weed. Okay, the weed situation. Is that what you were going to go
I
for?
was going to say, okay, yeah.
All right, I'll let you
That's
start.
a
Go
good
ahead.
one.
I need something to drink anyway. Go ahead.
Well, I just said with all these weed stores here in New York, they want to close them down. They want to, close them all down.
But here's the kicker to that, okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah,
talking
you do
about. The kicker is they're not making any money off it. The city, right?
Right.
Government.
Right. Well, what's happening is basically these smoke shops that you see are now your local dealer. That's what they are. They're not marketplace people. They're actually a dealer. And the reason that I say
It's
that,
not medical weed. You're
Well,
not getting any medical.
they're buying it. Okay, so if you had a dealer, let's say, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use I'm going to use my body. Okay, so if you got a friend who sells weed, right, and you're buying from him, the government isn't getting any of that. Okay, they're not seeing any of that action.
Oh,
And the whole reason they legalized it was
So
to
you can
bring
get
some
money.
cash, to bring
Right.
some cash into the
Get some
mix.
revenue in.
Right. Now, here's where they screwed up, okay? When they did that, they
always
first...
screw up.
Well, okay, before I go into where they screwed up, let me finish the first thought because I'm like ADHD here. So what's happening instead is these smoke shops are buying from, like your body, they're not buying from a dispensary. When you buy from a dispensary, you're paying some taxes.
Tax
and when
money,
you,
right? Okay.
Then there's a record of how much weed you have. Then when you sell that weed, you're responsible for a certain amount of tax. Now, if you're
Smoke
buying
shops
it,
don't do that.
right, if you're buying it from your
Right.
local weed
So
guy,
that's why the government wants to stop them.
the government don't know how much you have, and what you sell is yours. So you're basically just a dealer. That's
Right.
you may we used to call them bodegas.
I
Where
was just gonna say
we would go in the back and put up $5 in
Do a little hole. Little people, man.
do a little hole, and then get like a little nickel bag back or something.
Yeah, it's like little people, like
Yeah.
a yacht couple, when he opens up the
Yep.
fucking people and Maury puts his nose through
Yeah,
there. Like one of those.
sorry. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with that. But here's where they screwed themselves royally, and it all goes back to this woke crap, okay? And I know I talk about that a lot, but I just want to show you how everything comes full circle and comes back to bite you in the ass. Am I off camera? I'm sorry. Let me
It
turn
comes
around
back,
this
karma
way.
comes back and bites you. Yes, yes, it does.
Okay, so here's what happened was
Remember that.
when they came up with the idea of legalizing the weed, what they did was I'm going to say de Blasio actually is who did it. But what he did was
He did a lot of shit.
he turned around and said, I'm going to need votes. And New York City is a very minority and democratic built city. So if I can be very liberal and somehow give in to the minority, I'm going to get more votes. So here's what I'm going to do. Since minorities were the most arrests for marijuana, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them special dispensation. No, that's the wrong word. A special way to get it to where they're going to have a step up on everybody else in order to get licenses. So a person of Hispanic or African American and really anything except white. Okay, that's really what it came down to.
Down to, right.
Anything except white were given special
Treatments.
Yeah, special treatment in
Privileges.
getting their privilege, exactly, in getting their licenses. And at the same token, what happened was a lot of them bought it, but surprisingly enough, they didn't go the legal way. So even if they have the license, they're still not getting it from
Right.
because it costs more to get it from the dispensary than it would be from the black market. But now, if they try to take it away, it's going to be a racial issue that they're taking away black-owned businesses,
Okay.
Hispanic-owned businesses,
Right.
etc.
So one thing we have to say, there are a lot of smoke shops.
There's like at least two on almost every block.
Yeah, you don't need that many.
I mean, that's the truth.
You know,
and
don't
I'm
get
a
a smoke.
smoker. Listen, I'm a
I was
smoker.
just gonna say, don't get a smoke.
I'll light up a
Smoke
joint
weed.
right now. I got one sitting right over there. And I'm looking at it, and my mouth is watering. But I'm also I'm also honest, and I'm telling
Mhm.
you that there's too many of them. The right way to do this. Now, here's the way
Right.
it should
There's
be.
a lot
Okay.
of them. No, you're right. There's a lot of them.
You want to tell them, or you want me to go into the right way to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the right way to do this was you knew you were creating a business. So if you're creating a business, you're obviously going to need employees to run that business. So what they should have done was the
Good
government
one.
should have held handle on it, and the law should have been weed is legal to use recreationally, but not to sell, and only the government can sell you that weed.
So
And
they make their revenue and all
Right,
that.
and what they should have done was put like 2 or 3 dispensaries in every neighborhood, all through Manhattan. So in the 70s, you got 3 or
Sure.
whatever, maybe
Illegal then.
4, and then take your welfare recipients who are homeless, even. I didn't know homeless. I know they're lunatics. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. I know this, but at least 20, 25, maybe 30% of them
They would work.
are people who just are in a bad situation.
Right. And you tell them to work, they will work.
70% drug addict, asshole, idiots, okay, who just don't want, they literally just don't want to be part of society. But 30%
There are people out there.
are just people having a hard time
Right.
and would
down
love
on
to
their
have
luck.
a decent job.
Right.
Now, when you talk about this type of industry, you're immediately talking about something that's quite lucrative. And what they could have done was taken 5 homeless people, had them work one of these dispensaries, give them a house for 6 months while they're working. As long as they're working in a dispensary,
They stay.
They stay.
Right.
If they lose the job,
That's it.
then they're out.
That's it. They're done.
After 6 months, you then hire them permanently, and you give them a shot at eventually owning that store, or at least owning a piece of it.
And that proves that they can work.
And that's the inspiration they need to show up every day
Right.
and put everything they have into it.
Mhm.
That's possibly their store if they
But
do
our
the right
government
thing.
and our cities are not helping these people at all.
But that's the way to do it under a capitalist society, okay? Under socialist societies, to just keep giving them money and let somebody else open a store
Right.
and don't get paid that way either.
Well, that's why they just keep giving them drugs to help themselves.
Yeah, it's just
Just keep giving them drugs.
it's
okay?
really stupid.
They're ODing left
There's
and right.
so
They're in
many
the
ways.
streets.
I mean, even vets, you can turn around and say homeless vets.
Mhm.
Let them run
Mhm.
it. Let them run it. Lord knows, not only that, but they could use the actual weed with half the pain they have. But that's
No.
not the point.
Marijuana is the best for pain.
Absolutely.
Trust me.
Anyway, so
You
What
don't
I'm-
need no pills.
what I'm saying is they basically structured it wrong. They should have never made it sell and use legally. It should have been legal use. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, they made
Really,
it legal
that's
for
what it
crying
should
out
have
loud.
been. Legal
right?
use, but the sale is under control from governmental agencies. And you set up these
Jeez.
stores and you put people to work. And that's what really the government should be doing is
Right.
they
need
should
jobs.
creating jobs. They should be setting up stores or services or something with you're giving these people a shot at actually working.
Right.
You're giving them places to live anyway and you're paying them money.
Right.
You might as well get something in return.
And they're off the streets. Everybody can be happy.
And they develop,
But
self
everybody gotta make it hard, like you said. They have to make everybody's life hard.
yeah, they develop, like a self confidence that they didn't have before, a self assurance, a self worth.
And you know something? Ever since they made weed legal, you know how many people fucking smoke?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, I've been smoking weed since really
Yeah,
super
15.
young.
Yeah, I was
I got you
15.
beat long
Yeah,
before
I was
that.
15.
But I've been told that I'm a pothead, I'm this, I'm that, I'm
Oh
the
yeah,
other
I'm a
thing.
brain dead. We're burned.
And it's funny because all of the people who told me that now smoke weed and do edibles. It's like all of a sudden it's the cool thing to do, so they like doing it.
But we were potheads.
Yeah,
I know
I don't do edibles either for the most
No,
part.
I don't. Edibles are not good for
Yeah,
your heart.
yeah.
They do something to your heart.
It's
don't
also
they?
your chest. They squeeze your chest.
There you go. No, I just spoke
They
a good
relax
old
the
joint.
muscles so much that your breathing becomes hard.
Smoke a good old fashioned joint, you're good to go.
But here's something: if you guys ever do, any sort of weed or anything like that, and you feel a little like out of control, like you're not feeling so great or whatnot, just get some sugar in you. That's all it is. Just take like a quarter, unless you're diabetic. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
But if you're not diabetic, the
Have a
sugar,
chocolate bar.
the sugar pops you out of it like that.
Yeah.
That's something they do in Amsterdam. Actually, they have
Okay.
sugar cubes on the table
Ah.
because their shit is so strong that literally they'll watch you sit down and they can see you start to shake because you're actually going into it's not a seizure, it's a little bit more like
Compulsion?
hyper
Oh,
too
hyper-
much
oh, okay.
hyperventilation.
Oh, a friend of mine at work did that a couple
Yeah,
years
and you
ago.
just pass out and
You know what he
shake and
did? You know those energy drinks, the
Yeah,
$5.
that'll do it. Yeah, it's the caffeine.
The
in it.
$5.
Yep.
I remember we had a flood. We worked overnight, and he wanted to. Of course, we were there from fucking in the morning, so we're tired. He drinks 2 of them.
Yeah.
He says, no lie. We were sitting. He's like, oh man, I don't feel well. He's holding his chest. I'm like, oh shit, do we have to call an ambulance or what? The energy drinks.
Well, what it does is it speeds up.
Speeds
up your metabolism,
Okay.
and then you don't have enough oxygen to maintain that speed.
All right.
So
I
then
never drink those,
your body goes into an arrest,
Right.
and that's hyperventilation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because that's scary.
Yeah.
You scared the shit out of me. I thought you was
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. But,
Anyway.
They call me Dr. K. But,
Yeah, so that's kind of like my thing on the weed situation with that. Let's go with the Biden now. Let's go talk some Biden. The $5 billion that they're saying that
$5 million.
he was
FBI.
bribed from. Yeah, the FBI, and they've been covering up.
And the FBI is supposed to be on our side.
Yeah, and they actually let Comer and Raskin and a couple other people see these documents, but they said they were so redacted that you couldn't make heads or tails out of what was being done and what wasn't. And when they asked them, this is the fun. No, you think that was funny. This is the funniest line of the whole thing. So now, bear in mind when I say this, that this is from 7 years ago. 7 years ago. They asked them why they can't give them the document. They said, because we're still investigating it. Wow. Anyway, yeah, they're still investigating 7 years.
But what gets me is that the ignorance and hatred that people had for Trump in those years, that they all thought he was a crook and a criminal.
And it turns out everybody was accusing him.
That Biden's the one.
Yeah.
And they all got
not even just Biden. Not even just Biden. Not even just Biden. First off, the Russia fact, the Russia Gate thing, that was all Hillary Clinton. She paid $1 million to Chris Steele.
The Clintons are corrupt.
They actually turned around.
Obama's corrupt. Biden's corrupt.
Chris Steele came up with that dossier that said that Trump was in a hotel with hookers peeing on him and peeing in the bed and this and that. And so
that's a good one.
But there was that's just one accusation that was in the actual dossier. They turned around to Chris Steele and they said this. When I say they, I mean the FBI. Turned around to Chris Steele and said, "If you can prove one fact, just give us proof of one fact, and we'll give you $1 million." Literally, I swear that's true. Look this up. I am not making up one word of it.
He couldn't do it. People
couldn't do it. And now it turns out after the Mueller investigation and what's his name? What's the other dude's name? Durham. After Durham's report came out, it turns out that the FBI's had their hand in at least every election since 2016. Since 2016, they've had their hand in every election. The FBI and the CIA.
And they helped Biden get it.
Yeah.
So the election was rigged, people.
See, what was supposed to happen was Hillary was supposed to get it in 2016, and then Biden would have taken it from her in 2020, maybe 2024, depending on how her presidency went.
Right.
But if she wasn't doing well, he would have popped over in 2020. And
that was the plan.
Yeah, when Trump won, it threw everything into carnage. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
But and speaking of all that, with the thing, there's one case I like to bring up that everybody seemed to forget. We haven't heard about it.
Who?
Paul Pelosi's case.
Oh yeah, that's pretty wild.
Speaking of Nancy, I was just about to say Nancy Pelosi, all pieces of crap. But remember the Paul Pelosi case?
The luckiest stock market dealer going.
Whoa! And I don't know if everybody knows about the Pelosi case. Supposedly a guy breaks into his house and all this, but we have our own version.
The first day I turned around to Kerry and I go, dude, there's more there than meets the eye.
The guy did not just break in his house.
No way.
To have a conversation with Nancy. That was the story.
No way. No way. That's his concubine of some type.
Not even that. The guy's son.
Yeah, said
that he's his sex slave.
But I swear I had it literally minutes after it was announced that it had happened. I turned around and said, nope, I know exactly. First off,
the part of town. About this story no more.
First off, the part of town he's in is a very
San Francisco.
Right,
it's a gay area.
But it beyond gay. It's very kinky. It's a very kinky area. It's a very
almost like
it's a very open. Right, exactly. It's very open to every sort of idea of sex. Right. And you got to also remember that Paul Pelosi is not traveling with Nancy when she's going all over the place. So he's home an awful lot. He's got a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah.
this guy was just a little too out of the realm of reality. I believe he was from Canada, and he worked his way down, and it's just like a whole bunch of crap, and
Right.
you knew something was going on there. There was just no two
Because
ways
he wasn't
about
there
it.
to rob the house.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He wanted to speak to Nancy.
Yeah.
Why?
And I mean,
There's a reason.
and like not for nothing, but that's a gated community we're talking about. We're not talking about like, I could walk up to
Oh
yours
no,
or my
she's
door. You can't
speaking
do
of the
that
house,
there.
she's got to have a gated area.
You can't do that there. You've got to go through guards. I mean, it's not going to be an easy thing to get to that door.
That's a big gate area. But
Especially with a hammer and a knapsack, and they're going to take you down, man. They ain't letting you get through there.
he's lucky he didn't get shot.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because you're talking about Paul Pelosi.
I'm kind of shocked that Pelosi didn't have a gun, actually. I'm really kind of shocked about that.
See, that's another thing. Now, if somebody's coming in your home, what are you going to do?
I'm kind of shocked. I thought for sure he would have had a weapon.
Right. Well, we got to bring that up because all of a sudden that just dropped.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. They're like magicians, okay? The Dems are like magicians. They're like, they're picking your pocket with this hand, but telling you to look at this one.
Right. Okay.
That's kind of what it is. I mean, that's the way it works.
Right. But lucky he didn't get shot. Seriously.
Yeah. Wow.
Because, like you say, man, I mean, and look, Pelosi should have had a gun. Why didn't he? If he
I
had
don't
a
understand.
gun,
Yeah, I don't understand.
somebody comes in. As a matter of fact, there's a story right now. Okay.
But it's not even that, dude. You're talking about a guy who trades $35 million
I was just gonna
a
say,
day in a single stock.
fuck a billionaire.
Okay, he's a billionaire. He's got to have what type of valuables on that property?
Mm-hmm.
Just jewelry alone. Forget the actual cash that he probably has around.
One fucking ring.
There's no way that he doesn't have some sort of firearm. And why didn't he go get it? Why did he stand there
and try to talk to the guy.
Come on. I mean,
Wait,
please.
He's trying to calm a guy down with a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can get your gun.
You're honestly going to tell me you don't have a weapon in that house? Are you out of your mind?
You
Come
stand
on.
there with a weapon, the guy with the hammer is going to go, okay.
Yeah, that's insane.
All right, so, and as a matter of fact, just to bring that up, that's true with the gun, because I'm sure he's got legal. But now, there was just a story. The guy was wrong because he had an illegal weapon. But somebody was in his driveway trying to rob his car.
Yeah.
Just recently. And he shot the guy. Okay. He's got an illegal weapon, but if he has a weapon, so someone like Paul Pelosi should have a weapon,
that's true.
which should be legal.
Yeah. That guy's not gonna do well, by the way.
No.
He's not gonna do well.
No. They want to give him a year.
Yeah,
for illegal.
He should take it because he's gonna end up doing a hard time otherwise. And if he goes to any sort of trial.
But his answer, and this is the truth, I believe it because this will be mine too. I mean, but I
what state was it? You know what state it was in?
Ooh, I forget.
Because that depends on a lot.
I forget. I don't know if it's around here. Oh, Forest Hills.
Forest Hills, Queens.
Forest Hills, Queens.
He's looking at a hard time, man.
Forest Hills,
take
Queens.
Take that deal because unless you're
Forest Hills, Queens. He had an illegal gun, but what he said was, we got it because he's tired of the police not doing anything.
Right.
The government's not doing anything.
I get it.
The governor,
really get it.
the mayor. He said, I had to defend my family.
Yeah.
Even though he did it wrong.
The only thing I would say is what the DA is going to turn around and tell him is,
Yep.
your life was not on the line. His life is worth more than your car.
Right.
That's what the DA is going to tell him.
Right.
And not that the DA is right. I don't believe he's right, but
No,
that's what he's going to say.
He's going to tell him that. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
But I just had to because that's and here's someone like Paul Pelosi could have an illegal weapon in his house, but he'd rather stand there. Oh, there you go. He'd rather stand there and
Hey, my cat came over to say hi to Carrie.
argue
Sit down.
with the guy.
My cat is
But I had to
cool.
bring that up. Oh, and there's another thing I wanted to bring up.
Got
Did you see the one in California, the LBGT? The parents they fought with each other because they had they want to bring it to a school, and the parents stopped it.
Yeah.
It's just in California.
No, I didn't see this.
Oh, they just had the
Hey, you want
LBGT.
to see my cat? This is my boogaloo.
Boogie.
This is my boogia.
Well, they just had one side was the LBGT and the others was the parents
This is my
defending their
buddy.
children. And then you had a confrontation. But why do you have to push it on our children?
Right.
That's the key.
Well, here's the deal. What I kind of have a problem with is when you have kids who literally can't read, write, can't write in crisp.
They can't even tell time.
They can't tell time. Why are you worried about what type of sex they're going to have? Do you really want these idiots to have more idiots? Why don't we do this? Why don't we?
Right, they can't even spell
Why
their
don't we
name.
teach them first, and then worry about them having little idiots? Okay, so they can teach them at least the right thing to do.
See, like my brother said here, you could be whatever you want to be. That's fine. But now what they're doing is pushing it on us.
Yeah.
And then when we fight back, they fight. No,
Here's
you
the
can't
problem.
push it on us. They're pushing it.
Here's the problem, okay? As a kid, you don't know anything about life. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, just have fun.
You think you do, but you don't. And you want one thing, then you want another thing, then you want... the classic example is food. Everybody goes through this. Everybody has one food that they love. You eat it for 2 months, and then you hate it. You never want it.
Yeah, right?
Okay? That's being a child, all right? What I mean by that is, every little boy has dressed as a little girl at some point or another. Every little girl is dressed as a little boy at some point or another, be it Halloween, be it, just dress up or whatever.
Right.
Or, whatever the reason being. It doesn't really matter. They've dressed up as bunnies. They were given a bunny outfit. That doesn't mean they want to be a bunny, okay? They've dressed up as dinosaurs.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean
right.
they want to be a dinosaur.
Right.
They dress up as
Kids
what they
Spider-Man
feel
and everything.
that moment.
Right.
A child cannot understand what it is to be a man or a woman. They have no concept of that at that point.
No.
Because no matter how you look at it, it comes down to sex. And a child has not had sex yet. And, you can be attracted to the same sex as at 3 or 4, 5 years old. And it could be just the idea that, you happen to like the color hair the person has or something that
Yeah.
you don't have the same desires as you do at 14 or 15 or 10 or 11. And so that's kind of where things go a little crazy. At this point, just let's teach them what they really need to know. They don't need to know if they're going to wear a bra or if they're not. They don't need to know that.
Right.
They need to know how to add, subtract,
Read.
write.
Right.
This is what they need to know,
Okay.
and they're not knowing that. I
Good
forget what
penmanship.
state it is. There's, I want to say Chicago.
It's insane.
There's 23 school districts or something, or 26. And out of the 26 districts, there's not one kid. There's not one
Oh yes,
that meets
Chicago.
par, that meets the nation's
That's in
par
Chicago.
for their grade level.
Right. They're
Not one.
Right. Not one.
And you're worried about transitioning them to females or to males? I mean, it's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Okay? If that's your
Plus,
biggest
you
worry
don't-
in life,
You don't force it on other people.
you're an idiot, okay? Be who you want and stop worrying about other people. If the child didn't come out of you, leave
Don't
it alone.
worry. Right.
Leave it alone.
None of your
It's
business.
got nothing to do with you. You want to do it to your child, I will not stop you. I
It's
will
your
not
child.
stop you.
Right. It's
It's
your,
your child. But if a school tries to hide from me what's going on with my child, my minor child,
Not good.
18 years old, I get it. In college, I went through this. College won't talk to you. They won't give you any information. Even though you're paying for it, they won't give it
No,
to
they
you.
give you nothing.
They won't give you
right.
information. They won't give you nothing. I mean, you can't even find out what they had for lunch on
Right.
Thursday. Okay, I get that. 18 and above. Okay, which I still think even that's wrong because you're footing the bill. But forget that.
But when you're
My
young,
minor child, I don't need any help raising. And listen, I'm not talking about if you see him crossing the street and it's a
Right.
little dangerous. You turn around going, hey, listen, that's a little dangerous. Once you wait for the green light next time. I got a problem with that.
I know.
That's beautiful. I love
we're
that.
trying to put dresses on our boys,
But
and
when you-
girls into men. And,
When you're trying to create a permanent change
Nah.
in my child, we have an issue. We have an issue because
and that's why in California, those parents went and fought because they were trying to push into the school without getting permission. I mean, the parents got their kids there, like you said, they're 5, 6-year-old, 4-year-old kids.
now, conversely speaking, if my kid came to me at 16, 15, 14, even 12, okay, so, but 12 to 15, I would have a little different response. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But if my child came to me at 16 and said, Dad, listen, I'm really not happy. I'm truly not happy as to the gender I'm in, okay? And I'd like to change genders, okay? I'd say, okay, well, here's what I'd suggest. Take 2 years. Live as the gender you want to be. Fully. Live as the gender you want to be. If
Don't
after 2
change,
years,
just live it.
just be that.
Be that person.
If you're a man, if it was my son, I'd say live as a woman. If it was my daughter, I'd say live as a man. For 2 years, do not change. You are not allowed to change. You have to actually stay in that gender's mindset
So, dude,
for 2 years. If after that time you still want to do it, I'm behind you all the way. I'm behind you all the way. If on the other hand, you know, this is something you can't do. You have to understand that once you do what you want to do, you can't change it back. So, you know, till 18, I would say is probably like the safest. From 16 to 18 would be the safest 2 years to work with. And then see how you feel in 2 years. If everything works out, we you know, as I said, I'll have you back. You know, I just think that schools are worrying way too much about stuff they have nothing to do with. And they keep saying that it's our children. It's not our children. It's our children. Okay? And we don't really need help on that level. What we need you to help them with is the
math,
basic
reading,
schools, the basic skills of life.
writing, right.
You know, like stuff
Learn how
that
to sign a contract, learn how to write your name,
right now our kids
good penmanship.
like, you know, that people say, oh, well, you know, kids are all living at home. You know why? They can't sign a lease. They can't write script, so they have no signature. Without a signature, you can't sign a lease.
Now, my neighbor's son just graduated, and I made a joke, not to him because I know the kids are smart kids, I know the kids, but I made a joke where like, all right, congratulations, people graduated. There's some people out there that graduated and still can't spell graduation.
Yeah. Well, look, there was actually a school. I swear, this is the truth.
They graduated, but they can't spell the word.
There was a college. This was a college. I wish I could remember.
Fucking A, baby.
What college it was? They, you know, you have the sash going across.
Yes.
On the sash, they wrote, "Good luck to our graduate," and then they put graduate. GRADUTATE.
Yeah. There you go, people.
I mean, and nobody corrected it. I mean, you allowed 80 some, or I think it was more. I think it was like 200. But I'm gonna say 80 just to be on the safe side.
Wow.
You allowed 80 people to walk around with a sash that had the wrong word on it, and you're a college? Really?
Whoa, people. But I'm dead serious, man. I even worked with people, seriously, that couldn't understand what they were reading.
Yeah.
And they were in their 40s, 30s,
listen,
40s at the
you're
time.
saying that, but I'm even going to go you one step better.
Unbelievable.
So somewhere in the 90s, they came out with Velcro sneakers, where you Velcro your sneakers, right?
Yeah.
And you just slap that thing over and it's Velcroed on, right? Now you don't even have to do that. Now your foot slips in and out of it. Now they've got a heel that drops and your foot slips
goes right in
and comes out. This is beautiful. Now the kids aren't even going to know how to put the shoe on, let alone tie it. Okay, because now kids can't even tie their shoes because they're Velcro.
Yeah.
So now they're not even going to know how to grab the back of the heel. Here's a great one. So I had to put on a shoe one day, right?
Oh.
And I was at a client's house.
I
wish you should have done that because I was just going to do a story about that. Anyway, so I'm at a client's house, and I got to get my foot in my. I wear these shoes that are kind of like wrestling boots, and so in order to get my foot in right, I got to put my finger in, the way you would do a shoehorn.
Yeah.
So I do this, and the kid turns around and goes, you know, what are you doing? So I turned around and said, it's like a shoehorn. He goes, a what? So I said, a shoehorn. So he goes, what's that?
Yeah.
So I go, it's this thing that helps you slide your foot into the shoe.
You put your bag, you put it in a bag.
But imagine this, that like the most simplest things. What is next? You're not going to be able to comb your hair. You're not going to be able to blow your nose. I mean, what are we talking about? What are we doing to these kids? When I was a kid, my grandmother turned around to me.
What we're doing to these kids is right.
I was probably somewhere around, I'm just guessing, I was probably somewhere around 11 to 12 years old. And I had these white pants, and I used to go to this club called The Wave. And it was like a kid. Teenage disco type place where you could dance.
Only teenagers. No liquor, no nothing.
I wanted to wear my white pants, and I said to my grandmother, I said, nah, do me a favor, will you throw my pants in the laundry for me? She goes, get dressed. She got me dressed, she took me down to the laundry room, and she taught me how to do laundry.
Same here.
And from 11 on, I could do laundry on my own. And her exact words to me were, you will know how to clean, you will know how to cook, you will know how to take care of yourself better than anybody could ever do for you.
You know what they did? Because they said one day we're not going to be here. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Look, we're older.
Well, my grandmother had people who, in her life, who always, and I'm being very nice, and I won't mention names, and I won't mention the relationships, but she had people in her life that couldn't literally do their own wash, or clean a room, or cook for themselves, or so they always had to have a spousal type person live with them
to help them.
because to do things for them. They're slave basically.
Right.
They're slave basically.
Right.
And so that
But I believe it.
I'm
I believe
sorry,
there's a lot of
guys.
people out there
Jeez
that
whiz.
can't even do wash and stuff.
Hello,
I believe it. It's very sad out there, people.
hello.
With the kids today.
No answer. I would have had some fun with them. I was hoping it was the diabetes
Well,
one.
you're right.
I had
These
a couple
kids
of ones
today
with the
got it
diabetes.
so easy. They have no idea what the future holds.
Yeah.
None.
It's really sad. It's really,
Very
really sad.
sad.
And the saddest part about them isn't them, but their kids.
Yeah.
Because their kids are going to be raised by
Them.
immature people who are immature mentally,
Oh my God.
and it's going to be hard. It just,
And look at our teachers and professors.
you know where
today.
we're going, honestly.
Whoa.
You know, seriously, it's funny because when I watched this movie, I never thought that I was like, wow, that's just ridiculous. That's impossible. But it's really not. If you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy,
Yes, I do,
that's
yes.
where we're heading. It's
Mhm.
exactly where we're going.
Yes. Oh.
At some point, Terry Crews is going to be the president of the United States. I'm telling you, I swear to you. I'm not even kidding when I say that. It's the dumbest fucking thing going. They're going to be given hand jobs at like Starbucks or whatever it is. I swear, I'm not joking. It's crazy how close it is.
Where's the nearest Starbucks?
Yeah, that's it. I'm telling you, I swear. What was the I think it was Starbucks. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I know what they were given, and then they changed the
That's
name.
insane.
They changed the
Yes.
name of Fuddruckers restaurant to
Oh,
Buttfuckers.
Yeah.
that was
Oh.
that was really good.
Oh.
It's a great movie too, by the way. I absolutely really recommend that movie.
But we're in for a hell of a ride with this generation.
The only thing bad about it is it's scary how true it's becoming. You know, that's really what I can say.
Because it's really scary out there, man. When you have kids that can't read, write. Oh, I'm telling you, I go
Arithmetic.
arithmetic. Yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me tell you something. In our time, I worked in a supermarket, we had to do the register. We didn't have a computer.
Oh, computer! Oh my
We
God!
weren't told what to give back and what to do, right? We had to know what to give back.
You want to know shit? This almost killed me.
Right? I go,
So, I swear to you, I got a good story, guy.
no, really. I mean, here they are. They're trying to figure out what to change to give you back. Meanwhile, it's right there in front of them. Because you know how they punch it in
Yeah.
and the change shows up. Not when we were kids. When we were growing up, we had it. We knew what to do, and they still don't get it right.
Yeah. I swear, one time, I had a bill come out to be like $27.35, let's say, or some. I'm trying. I wish I could remember the exact number. It was like 27. 35 was too easy. It was like 27.77 or something like that. So I pull out $30 and I give her $30. And with the $30, I give her like 33 cents, which would have made up for the other. Wait, I gotta remember. No, it was 35. That's right. It was 35 actually. I gave her the 35 cents with the $30. She looks at me and she goes, "You've given me too much." And she goes to hand me back the 35 cents.
Oh.
I said, "No, you don't get it. I don't want the 65 cents back." She goes, "Yes, but it's only $27.35. So I said, No, you're not understanding. The 35 cents is to make up for the 35, so that you'll give me all singles back." So she goes, I swear to you, without a word of a lie, you would have thought that I just did a campfire in the middle of a fucking head, because there was smoke coming out of her ears. Her eyes were glazing over. She didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And it was just so easy. She just had to give me literally $3 back. That's all it was.
I had the best. I was in a dry cleaners one time. And no lie, I think it was $4.50. I gave him $5. I'm standing there, waiting. He looks at it and goes, 50 cents. 50 cents he'd give back. He's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Ow!
Yeah.
50 cents.
Yeah.
If it's $4.50, you give him $5, you get 50 cents back, people.
Yeah.
All right? I was in high school for 7 years. I keep telling you that.
I'm going to tell you honestly, it's sickening. And then the other thing about it is, they don't know any of their prices. Like, you go to McDonald's, and they literally have a button that has the picture of a Big Mac.
And it says the price right there.
I mean, that's ridiculous. When you need pictures. I mean, I'm not even joking. I'm dead serious about this. But when I was about, I don't know, say 3, they bought me a fake kitchen, right? Or fake something or other.
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah.
And, no, it was a grocery store, fake grocery store. And it had the cash register with the pictures on it, like corn, you know.
Right. We all had that.
I was 3. I mean, I get it. With 3, it's okay. But when you're fucking 21, man, and they're giving you pictures,
you're in your 20s or 40s.
You should be able to handle fucking numbers, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Right. You got people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. They can't even fuck.
I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, like, how much is a Big Mac? $3.69. 3.6. I mean, you know, come on. Just hit the picture. You know, it's like
the best is one day I asked for 2 cheeseburgers. I didn't even get them.
Yeah. Well, okay. As long as you're on that, let's go another. I'm gonna
something simple. If you have something simple, this is what you get.
This is what I got a question for you guys out there. Actually, I got a real good question for you. Please leave me a comment on this because I want to know what you think. But I went to Popeyes right over here on 83rd, on 87th and I'm sorry, 88th and 89th,
First,
and
right?
Third Avenue. Third Avenue.
Oh, Third Avenue.
And I went there probably 12 times. I'll say, okay, before I stopped going. And out of 12 times, I kid you not, they got 10 wrong. Out of 12 times, 10 of them they left out something. And I mean, my orders were big. My orders were like 47, 48. I don't think they could do the 50 because I really do think it went over 50, but I don't know if they do over 50, so I don't want to say that. Anyway, so while I'm there, they forgot something. So the 10th time, I turn around and I go back. Meanwhile, I realize I ordered $47 worth of food. They left out a chicken sandwich that was $3. I mean, $3.99 or something like that. I go back to the guy and I'm like, listen, you left out the sandwich, So he goes, and he goes, do you have your receipt? So I give him my receipt. He's going, well, how do I know I left it out? I said, are you out of your mind? You really think I just bought $47 worth of food to scam a $3.99 chicken sandwich from you? Are you serious? So, like, I just don't know if anybody else has that problem with Popeyes. Because I really, truthfully do believe it comes from the...
Popeye.
Yeah, I think it's Pop. He's got a shirt on, too. That's pretty wild. Anyway, I really do think that it comes from their management that tells them, listen, leave something out. If they come back, you give it to them. If they don't, it's part of our profits,
So,
because they do it. They do it just
constantly.
so often,
right. It's constant. It's continuously.
I understand one mistake. I understand 2 mistakes. But out of 12 times, 10 mistakes.
3 strikes, you're out, bro. Baseball.
Yeah, well, that would have been a whole inning. They would have been right to the next inning with the 10 strikes.
For 2 games.
You only get 9 innings for 9 strikes per inning.
There you go.
So anyway, I guess we're pretty much done today. I don't know. Is there anything else you can think of?
Oh, that's about it. It's good. But I remember that time, same thing. I went to Arby's one time.
I love Arby's.
I got hit by a car.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
You go to Arby's by my house.
That's right.
It was the best. You get lunch for me and my children. So I have my bike over.
You're a good dad, huh?
All right. I got hit by a car, but I'm okay. Not bad. What am I talking about? Oh, I'm sorry.
Arby's.
I go home. My gyro wasn't there.
Yeah, isn't that
I
sucks.
forgot my gyro. I had to go to
That
urgent care. I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
I had to go get checked out, but I was more pissed and I get my gyro than I did hit by a car.
That sucks. I hate when you don't
It sucks, is right.
Just saying that, but something similar happened to me the other day at Key Food. I was starving, man.
I didn't ask for much either.
It was like 2 in the afternoon and I still hadn't eaten. And I was absolutely ravenous, man. I'm telling you, I was so hungry. So I get the energy together, and it wasn't easy, I swear, because I was so hungry. I get the energy together. I go to Key Food, and I shop, and I pick up chicken wings, and I pick up roast pork that I can roast. I pick up some chow meat, it works. But I don't want to cook. Understand what I'm saying? I'm hungry, and I want to eat now. I don't want to come home, smell it, cook for a half hour.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So I stop at the deli, and I'm getting a ham and American on a Hero. It's a male. And this lady, this really nice lady, older woman, is standing there, and she's like, she looks a little confused. She looks like she's kind of out of place. So I start talking to her. I just, making conversation, and we get into this like great conversation. It was phenomenal. She was like in her 70s. I'm gonna say maybe 80s, and we just got into this great conversation.
God bless.
And it totally took me by surprise, and I was laughing, and it was really like an entertaining time for me for the moment. Well, it was so entertaining, I forgot to grab my sandwich.
Oh.
I go and I pay on. I go online. And I gotta wait online because there's a long line of Key Food. I go through it, and all I'm thinking to myself is, God, I can't wait to get this sandwich. Oh my God. I get upstairs, I unpack everything, and my sandwich isn't there. I never grabbed it off of the deli thing. I was so pissed, man.
No,
I
I've
was
done
so
that.
pissed off.
I've done that. I was pissed. Yeah.
So next time I saw her, I punched her in the head. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. She was actually so sweet. I can't even say that. She was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Anyway,
But no, really, try that with Popeyes. We'd like to have your comments on it.
yeah, I'd really
please.
like to know if it's just me, and if it's just like something, maybe I'm just going to a stupid place. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's plenty out there. There's no
Yeah.
fucking confidence. Oh
But
my
maybe
God.
but it doesn't happen if I go to Taco Bell. It doesn't happen if I go to McDonald's. It
But now,
doesn't
before,
happen.
right. But people are dumb out there. And I got something there, even growing up. This ain't Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, growing up, we are dumb people. Remember Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Right, all those videos? Well, I went into a store one day. Hey, this young kid behind the counter, I go up to him, I said, listen, I like to rent Batman Forever. He goes, you can't, you gotta bring it back tomorrow. I'm fucking dumb.
That was when they charged us. They used to charge us $1 if we didn't
Oh,
rewind the tape.
yes.
Like
You
it would be
rewind it,
like
yes.
it would be too freaking hard for somebody who rented the tape to hit the rewind button for 30 seconds before they watch the goddamn movie while gorging on
Right.
popcorn.
Right, if you brought it back without rewinding,
I mean, how
they charge you.
stupid was that? How dumb was that?
Meanwhile, you know how many times I rented, me and my wife rented a video and brought it home and I had to rewind it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just another way to
Right.
make to nickel and dime somebody.
Right.
That irritates me, nickel and diming. Oh God, I'll pay you whatever you want to be paid. Obviously, I think it's fair, but don't nickel and dime me. Don't add shit later on. Don't give me
I hate
just
that,
bottom
man.
line. It's don't
Just
waste
tell
my
ballpark,
freaking
give it to
time.
me, baby.
Don't waste my freaking time. Just
Right.
tell me how much I owe you.
That's right.
Tell me what it's gonna
What's
cost.
up?
We'll get it. Nickel and diming drives me nuts.
Come on.
Anyway, guys.
Yes.
I think we've had it for today. I don't know how many minutes. We're over the hour, I think.
Yes, we are.
We're at an hour and a minute.
Well, we have a
Wow.
pleasure talking to you people.
That's 10 minutes longer than any one we've done so far.
Right.
I don't know if that's good or bad. You got to judge. Anyway,
Listen,
guys,
I have a pleasure talking to you people. I can't
Yeah.
talk to my family, so
we really do enjoy it. We really enjoy, we like getting this out.
God
It's
bless.
very cool.
Yes. And happy Tuesday, folks. Be
Happy
safe.
weekend. We'll definitely have another one out by next week sometime. Maybe we'll do another one Friday. Again, I say maybe, but you really...
We take day by day.
We love that you watch, but we don't want you to, no, I'm only kidding. I was going to say we don't want you to be in any pain. Anyway, we love
hope
that
you
you
like
watch,
us.
and we really do thank you. So
Yes,
have a
we
great day,
appreciate it.
guys.
Enjoy your day. Be safe out there, folks.
Later.